Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our first session. As you know, my name is Maria Lucelena Herrera Perez, and I have the pleasure to be your facilitator or virtual advisor in this module 7, which is called Mi Mundo en Otra Lengua. I already welcome you with an email, and I hope you have read the information that I have shared with you. This time, what I want is to share presentation with you so you may see what we have to do this week. And so let's see. I'll share the screen, and I have this information. Anyway, the session will be, or this live streaming will be in English. Anyway, if you have any questions or you want me to explain something in Spanish, feel free to ask. I will be available every day. As you have seen, I uh, I log into the platform every day, and I always try to check the your emails, your questions, and everything you ask. So I will be ready to explain in case you want me to explain something, even in Spanish. Okay, so this is there. You have my name, the module number 7, and see, this is our agenda for today, which is we will talk about the guide, resources that you have available in the platform, about the activities, and finally the learning forum. Well, finally, we'll have some questions in case there is someone attending the streaming. All right, now let's see. My recommendation is to, uh, perhaps this is not a new recommendation because this is module 7, so it means that you have been here for another 7 modules, including the 01. And my recommendation is to download the guide. In the guide, you will find, as you can see here, the name on the right, top right. You see the name of the week, or at least the topics that we are covering this week. So in unit 1 is what are you doing, and the unit 2 is where were you learning. uh, if you click on every icon, you will find the introduction, the activities, the exploration, which is some other material, and and a calendar to in which you have some ideas, some suggestions on how to organize your week so that you don't wait until the last time. I will say this in Spanish. Te recomiendo revisar la última parte, sobre todo donde dice organizo mi semana, ya que allí vas a encontrar ideas para revisar día con día los materiales, los recursos y llevar a cabo las actividades de manera que no dejes el envío hasta el domingo. Estoy segura que ya has escuchado o te ha sucedido que si esperas hasta el domingo se satura la plataforma, o pueden suceder otros imprevistos como que se vaya la luz o que se acaben tus datos, no sé, cualquier otro imprevisto que te impida enviar las actividades a tiempo. Entonces, yo te invito a que organices tus tiempos, que no procrastines, que no dejes hasta el domingo. Finalmente, si tú trabajas como lo sugiere ese apartado de organizo mi semana, pues vas a tener el sábado y el domingo para hacer otras actividades, para cuando menos descansar, dejar a un lado la computadora. Entonces, y no vas a tener malos momentos de que quizá no alcances a enviar las actividades. All right. Now, another in this a template, what we have is the resources. So my recommendation is to answer the questionnaires, to review and study all the resources and the material before you do the activities. Sometimes I have seen some students that sometimes uh, do not check the resources and just answer the activities, which is not a good idea because sometimes they don't know what to include or how to answer the activities. So if you see, all of them will prepare you to successfully answer the activities. Um, then, about the activities, this week you have to answer, well, apart of from the integrative activities, you have these other two, which are um, formative activities, two formative activities. Formative activity number one, which is called What Are They Doing? What you will find here is again some extra practice about the present continuous. And formative activity number two is entitled What Were You Doing When? And as you may see here, this is about you will practice or get more practice about past continuous. Then you have the socio-emotional activity that of remember I want check or mark this activity. Your tutor is in charge of talking about and reviewing this activity. And finally, the socio-emotional questionnaire, which you already know, although you don't have an immediate mark here in this questionnaire. At the end of the module, this will add up extra points or another percentage. So be very careful and don't forget to answer all these activities. All right, then as I told you before, one of the topics that we are covering this week is the present continuous tense. This is that if you have a review or studied the resources, the present continuous is used to talk about an activity that started in the past and it is still in practice at the moment we are speaking. I will say this in Spanish. El presente continuo nos sirve para hablar de actividades que iniciamos en un pasado muy reciente y continúan al momento en que estamos hablando. In this image, this picture, you will see how it is formed. So if you see here this on the left hand, there will you have the subject. The subjects are I, you, he, she, we, you, they, and then plus the verb to be. When we conjugate the verb to be, we have three main conjugations. This is is, and are, plus the gerund of the main verb. Remember that the gerund is formed with adding ing at the end of the verb. So this is the main verb, I'll say this in Spanish. Tenemos entonces la fórmula, pudiéramos llamarle, para redactar enunciados en presente continuo, son el sujeto, que es esta columna de la izquierda, la conjugación en tiempo presente del verbo to be, que son am. Aquí tenemos am solamente para el pronombre I, is para los pronombres he, she, it, y are para los pronombres we, you y they. Ahora, el verbo principal, es decir, de la acción que nosotros estamos hablando, ese es el verbo principal. Lo que vamos a hacer es agregarle la terminación ing. En el material que tenemos en los recursos, los invito a que los estudien perfectamente. Pueden incluso imprimirlos, descargarlos, imprimirlos y tenerlos a la mano para cuando redactes tus enunciados, ya que ahí vienen unas reglitas muy sencillas para agregar la terminación ing a los verbos. Entonces, yo con esto estoy teniendo mi enunciado en presente continuo. I am starting, she is starting, or we are starting. Now, the negative form is exactly the same, but we have to add the particle, we have to add the particle not beside the verb to be. This is exactly the same. So it is very simple, exactly the same sentence, but we have to include the particle not. So I am starting, affirmative, or I am not starting, negative. Then to write down a question, we have to move the verb to be at the beginning of the sentence. And this is if we want to add if we want to write down a question. So we have to write down, to move the verb to be at the beginning of the sentence. So, am I starting? Is she starting? Are you starting? And this way we have a question form. All right, now let's see. Talking about the activity, in activity number 1, you have to describe what the characters of the people or the people in the picture are doing. So in this case, you have to write down sentences in present continuous. So here we have the purpose of this activity is to put into practice the correct vocabulary and grammar to describe what the characters are doing in the scene or the painting. So what you have to do here is to, when I say correct vocabulary, I am talking about the those adjectives to describe what the people are doing. Then notice that you have to download the template in which you will find some question. Here, I say this in Spanish, con mucha atención porque en las preguntas, varias preguntas tienen incluidas dos. Entonces, no es que tú contestes una, debes contestar las dos para que yo pueda tomar la respuesta correcta. De otra manera, si tú solo contestas una, bueno, yo ahí estaría solo dando la mitad de la calificación a esa respuesta. Por eso es que te anoto aquí, hasta resalté en negritas. Read through the instructions carefully, since there may be two questions in one. Be sure that you have answered. Here I have a mistake, all of them. Then, to describe what the characters are doing or wearing, lo que están haciendo o lo que llevan puesto. You must use the adjectives and the present continuous tense. Be sure that you have understood how to form this sentence before you fill in the activity. Entonces, primero estudia bien cómo se redactan los enunciados en presente continuo antes de escribir la respuesta. For example, the woman is wearing, aquí yo tengo is porque el pronombre es she, the woman, is wearing a beautiful long blue dress. Ten mucho cuidado aquí también en el orden, en los recursos. Hay una infografía muy clara de cómo se van a acomodar. En inglés es muy importante saber cómo acomodar los adjetivos, no llevan coma, y el orden que deben llevar los adjetivos junto al sustantivo que están calificando. So, for example, here is wearing a beautiful long blue dress and a pink hat. And she is talking with a man, right? Entonces aquí estoy describiendo lo que lleva puesto, what she is wearing, and what she is doing. Lo que lleva puesto y lo que está haciendo. Remember, present continuous tense. Then, about activity number 2, which is in activity number 2, we have to practice the past continuous tense. El pasado continuo, su nombre lo dice, es para que nosotros indiquemos acciones o actividades que tomaron un tiempo, que no se hicieron rápidamente, que tomaron un periodo, unos minutos, unas horas, no sé, generalmente son unos minutos mientras sucedía alguna otra acción. So what we have to do is or the way these sentences are formed is the subject, the past tense of verb to be, plus the main verb in ing or gerund. Aquí, si te fijas, es exactamente la misma estructura que el present continuous, nada más que ahora el verb to be está conjugado en pasado. Solamente tenemos dos conjugaciones que son was y were para el verb to be en pasado. Was para I, he, she, it. Para los pronombres I, he, she, it. Y were para el resto de los pronombres. So the example is in affirmative sentence, she was cooking all the morning. She was cooking all the morning. Another example, a negative example is exactly the same as present. We have to add the particle not next to the verb to be. She was not sleeping when he came home. And the interrogative or question, again, we have to move the verb to be to the beginning of the sentence. So, was she sleeping when he came home? Was she? So the question is form with the verb to be conjugated at the beginning of the sentence. So, and here you have some usage and some examples. And we have to describe parallel actions. What does it mean parallel at the same time? So the example is while I was washing the dishes, I was washing the dishes, I heard a loud noise. At the same time, I was washing the dishes, and at the same time, I heard a loud noise. It is also used to describe what someone was doing at a particular point in time. So, for example, I was working in the garden all day yesterday. All day I was working in the garden. Another usage is to express interrupted action in the past. For example, I was driving to work when I crashed my car. I was driving, and at the same time, I was driving, but it was interrupted. The driving was interrupted because I crashed. Then another usage is to describe repetition and irritation. The example is he was always complaining in class. He was always complaining in class, something that he always does, and it is irritating. Siempre se está quejando. Oh, all right. Then the activity number 2, we have to write about actions that were happening at the time of another one. This time you have to put into practice the past continuous tense, which is formed by the past tense of verb to be and the gerund of the main verb. In this case, remember you have to imagine that you were doing something while a robbery happened in another house. So, for example, you must write, I was watching, verb to be, ing, main verb. I was watching TV when I heard some noise. Mhm. Past continuous, simple past. Very good. Now let's see. This is what we have seen. And finally, about the Learning Forum. I have been reading what your comments in the Learning Forum. And I'll say this in Spanish. Ya estuve leyendo algunos de sus comentarios en el Learning Forum. Recuerden que este foro tiene una pregunta detonadora. La pregunta es qué estrategias has implementado o has estado llevando a cabo para mejorar tu dominio del idioma, del inglés. Entonces, si tú quieres solo, pues saludar a tus compañeros, desearles enviar tus buenos deseos para éxito en el módulo, eso recuerda que lo debes hacer en el foro social. En este Learning Forum, debes leer los comentarios de tus compañeros porque quizá haya alguna pregunta que tú sepas y puedas contestar. O debes contestar la pregunta detonadora. Insisto, para saludar es el foro social. Esto es para práctica del idioma. Is that clear? So you have to answer the question. What are the strategies or actions you've been doing to improve your abilities to understand English language? So, for example, I have two examples here. So, I write the word on Google Translator. I forget here. To improve my pronunciation, I write the word on Google Translator. I click on the speaker and listen to the pronunciation several times. Then I say it out loud to try to imitate the pronunciation. Entonces, para mejorar mi pronunciación, bueno, anoto la palabra en el Google Translator, le doy clic en la speaker, en la bocinita, y ahí el Google me pronuncia la palabra, la escucho las veces que sea necesario, yo la repito hasta que me quede igualita. Esa es una estrategia que yo estoy llevando a cabo. Another one, to improve my listening comprehension, I have been listening to music in English to catch as many words and complete sentences as I can. Para mejorar mi comprensión auditiva que estoy haciendo, pues estoy escuchando canciones en inglés y a ver, pongo atención. qué palabras o qué enunciados completos son los que puedo entender. Esos son ejemplos de las respuestas que debes anotar en el Learning Forum. No solo decir, hi classmates, I wish you the best in this module, ¿sí? Eso se hace en el foro social. All right, so I'll go back again with you and see if you have any questions. If you don't have any, okay, so very good. And I'll see who is there. Okay, no one is here, so I'll finish. I will end this streaming for today. And remember, if you have any questions, I will be reading them and send them by mail. I'll say this in Spanish, por favor, no me envíen mensajes a mi correo personal, todo tiene que ser a través de la plataforma, estoy al pendiente. Sí, algo que quiero comentar es que yo los sábados y domingos no ingreso a la plataforma para que, por favor, si tienen alguna duda, pues bueno, cuando menos puedan enviarla el viernes a más tardar por la mañana. Yo ingreso todos los días a plataforma, así es que leo yo sus preguntas, sus comentarios, todas sus dudas, pero sábado y domingo no ingreso a la plataforma. Entonces, para que por favor puedas revisar los materiales y si hay alguna duda, me la hagas llegar para que yo te pueda, con todo gusto, yo contesto, yo explico lo que necesites, pero si tú me formulas alguna pregunta entre sábado y domingo, yo ya estaría ingresando a plataforma hasta el lunes, cuando ya terminó el módulo, y pues ya mi respuesta sería demasiado tarde. Entonces, te pido por favor que organices tus tiempos, que no dejes el envío de las actividades para el último minuto, y sobre todo eso, que si tienes alguna duda, me la hagas llegar durante los días de la semana, a más tardar el viernes a mediodía, por favor, para que yo por la tarde conteste con todo gusto. All right, so this is it for today, and I'll see you next week. The link is the same, will be the same during the whole module. This won't change. So if you have any questions, I'll see you. I'll read them in the platform. Have a good night and a good sleep. Bye-bye.